black cats, creepy eyes, ravens. These are the things that Edgar A Poe brought to the story. We're gonna talk about that right now. At the beginning of this poem, all this story began with this guy that was suffering because he wanted to be with Lenore. He was about to fall asleep, but he started thinking and he started listening to these strange noises outside until at the end he didn't accomplish the thing he wanted to do. Fall asleep, and instead of that, he just started talking with the raven all night and actually all his life because he couldn't get rid of the raven. Sometimes we can be like this man that is just sleeping, trying to sleep, but suddenly he starts going into his own mind, into his own ideas, and he gets scared because he thinks there's someone knocking at the door. But then we can just get led by the imagination. In this case, the crowd that enters to the window. And suddenly you can see a crowd there. Like I cannot imagine somebody talking to a crowd. Obviously in this story it happens. But it's like how the imagination leads us to this place. And there's something important here also, because is the person, this guy, the one who opens the windows of his mind to the imagination, in this case to the crowd. And we can see this very clear, no? That can also happen to us. How many times do we open the window to our imagination, to our thoughts, to our dreams, to our ideas, instead of letting them be driven by our reason? In this poem, the raven makes him feel happy. Why? Because he lost Lenore, his beloved. And that also can be seen as probably we are just focused in the things we like, in the things we trust, but then we are just being driven by our own ideas and thoughts and feelings, and that drives us to leave aside the real things of life and to just go into our own world and just imagine, and just putting over our bust of Athena, putting the raven. This imagination, these things that just go into our heart and to our mind and drive us crazy. And it's through that, through the raven, and instead of actually going to reality, you can just escape from it and stay there with the raven forever. Imagination can be good, but also we have to be equaled. We have to know how to balance it. And sometimes we just can be driven by this raven and not focusing on the things that are really important. I hope you learned something about this poem. It's a new way of how to interpret things. Have fun, and God bless you all.